So if you want to be a guest on the podcast, come through. You got a place to stay.
1,000% stay at my place. Come to my home.
It's not mine. I think as if it's mine, my bad.
Alright, so this is another episode, guys. This is a different setting. It's going to be like a mukbang style. I haven't done this before, so I'm pretty curious to see how this turns out. It's more like interactive because this is in real life. Christian's here. He's on another screen. I'm curious to see how this would work with eating and stuff, but man, I'm so hungry. We had so many like delays. We were trying to figure out the whole setup, but we finally got it set up, so I'm pretty keen. How's your week, Christian?
It's been good. Episode
22? Maybe 23?
No. It's a lot more than 22.
Really?
Look, we have our phones out. We're going to cheat.
Yeah.
I think it's episode 25, which is kind of crazy because that means we're nearly halfway through the year. So see all episodes. Yeah, I'm progressing. Yep, 25, episode 25.
Oh my God, what?
26 is half a year. It doesn't feel like half a year.
Dude, I don't know why, but I already started thinking of Christmas. Like I was watching Iron Man 3 and there was like a Christmas tree. It was like a Christmas movie and I was like, holy shit, I feel like Christmas is coming close.
Christmas is going to come that fast. It's March. 3 months of the year is just gone.
Yeah.
Olympics are still to come.
Oh.
Yeah, they're going to go ahead with the Olympics.
Really?
Yep.
2021.
2021 is going to be, they're going to have Olympics because they didn't have it last year. They're going to have the European Championships for soccer because they didn't have that last year. So, you know what? There's hope for 2021. There's hope. It's March. It feels like May. It's March, but it feels like 6 months in. But yeah, episode 25. Thank you for your support. You know, ever so grateful. But yeah, we continue. We move on. We're just gonna keep eating, so yeah, don't mind us.
Got some Czech beer. They call it Czech bread. So I went on the trip to Nusa. There's this guy named Ludek. Met him at like a hostel who was like old. He was like maybe in like late 30s, and he was traveling from Queensland down to Sydney. He hasn't been to Sydney before. Met him at Queensland. Went back home. He ended up going to Blue Mountains. Met up. He told me a bit about guitar. He bought some Czech bread. He stayed for the night. It was the first time having like a stranger.
I was gonna say,
stay
not
over.
even that, like someone stay over, right?
Yeah.
So firstly, someone stayed over, and second of all, it was half stranger, half someone that you met. Right?
Exactly. And when I met him, it was just like a night of like, we're playing guitar, I was listening. It was like a 2-3 hour session. And that's how I got to know him. And other than that, we've just been texting.
Yeah.
And then he was like, hey, do you have a bed? I was like, sure.
Where'd you prop him?
On the couch.
Yeah.
Gave him some blankets, gave him something to put underneath to sleep on. We had like a nice chat. And I was like, yeah, it turned out pretty all right. Like it was, yeah, in my mind, obviously I was like, what if like someone just takes all my shit while I'm sleeping and like.
Something happens, yeah. I mean, yeah, rightly so. I mean, you're always gonna have those reservations in the back of your mind, right?
Yeah.
But like, better than that situation at the beach, you know. I mean, that situation could have gone very much more south than this one. At least this guy was somewhat of a friend, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, at least you can accommodate people. So if you want to be a guest on the podcast, come through. You got a place to stay.
1,000% stay at my place. Come to my home.
It's not mine. I think as if it's mine, my bad. But yeah, God damn.
So today is actually Sunday.
Yeah.
So we're supposed to film this last Tuesday, but Stephen was busy. And like the moment Stephen was busy, I messaged Christian, yo, let's film it anyways. Christian was like, I'm doing a quiz right now. So Christian is getting pretty busy man now. Christian's been busy. Haven't heard from Christian in the last few weeks. I'm going to be confronting him on the podcast. Christian's been like a busy man. He's like starting, I've had this happen before. Finance people, they start like getting more and more busy. They start like doing their thing. You know, I message them, be like, yo, you free this weekend to come through? No, I'm working on some like applications.
So for context, I'm still in university. So I still have one subject left. And when you messaged me on Tuesday, he bailed and I was like, I'm just going to do this quiz. And then you messaged, I was like, I've already started it. Some random unit, but I did it anyway. And that Saturday that you texted me, it was like 8:30. I was like, I could come, but I was like, And then yesterday I was down to come at 8:30 and then I get it, like you were like...
It was 9, I think we caught at, maybe it was 8:30, yeah.
It was 8:30, but I would have come here at like 9 because and it would have been hella late, 100%. But yeah, no, like at least I'll be authentic about it. I'll be honest, and I'll own up to fucking up. Unlike a lot of other people I know, you just get ghosted.
You know what I'm worried, Christian? I'm worried that we'll get to a point where like there'll be a text in the podcast group, so we'll have a group chat with me, Christian, and Steven. And Steven might say something like, hey, I'm gonna be 30 seconds late because I'm just like drying up. And then Christian's gonna be like, all right, sorry guys, because of that, I've already got into a quiz, we're gonna have to reschedule.
You know what? Fair play. But this guy, you're going to listen to it and you're going to watch it. Steven, you were 45 minutes late. And he told me 5 minutes before.
Yeah.
Okay, what does that tell me? All right,
Steven's been flaking many weeks. Steven, you've been really, really busy. So Steven's definitely been dodging a lot now. He's been doing a lot of rescheduling.
He's, fair play to him, he got a new job. He's juggling it around, but it is what it is, it is what it is. Like, he'll learn and he'll get better. That's the thing. He'll learn and he'll get better. Exactly. And the thing is, I didn't want to do it without him, but you know what? We got to fill it up. We got to make up for lost time, and that's why here we are.
Exactly. We're talking about like Christian was asking me how's my sister doing HSC or studying university. I was like, she's good. And I realized something. For some reason, girls. I think we've talked about this. You always know you probably know like 20 girls in high school that were really dedicated, studying a lot. They were studying at lunch, research, or like goody two shoes, but they wouldn't get good marks.
Yeah. You'd see a lot of it.
Yeah.
You'd see a lot of those people that are like that. And like, I feel kind of bad because you'll see them always, studying really hard.
Yeah.
And then there's people who just did not give a shit. And like, I was one of those people that I'd try hard, but I wouldn't make it openly known. Like, I wouldn't do it at school and everything. Mm-hmm. Maybe during HSC a little bit, but yeah, like, I wouldn't, like, what they do, like bombard the teachers with help and everything. Mm-hmm. But like, yeah, man, I feel kind of bad for them because there's those people who just didn't try that much, but then still came out with a great, you know what happened? When they start crying, when they get their results and shit, and you don't know what to do, you're just looking at them like, oh, what do you do? Did that happen at your school?
I've had things happen where you'd receive it, you got like an 86, and you'd be like, damn it, I did so bad. And then the girl next to you, she gets a result, and she's just sad. I'm like, oh, how'd you go? She's like, no, I went really bad, I want to show. And they're just sad. And like, you making your 86 seem bad just made their 75 seem really bad.
Yeah, 100%. I hate those people at school when they just get their marks and just, like, you got like a fucking 89, I get it, like whatever, they aspirate. Mm-hmm. It's all perspective. Aspirations are different for everyone, and the marks are always going to be different, reflecting on the different people and their personality and the attributes, right? But like, I don't know, I feel like school, you can with that, like no one cares. Or I don't know, it goes back around and saying, okay, if they try hard in school, maybe they really wanted to get something or didn't get it, you know what, fair enough. But I was never one of those people. I'd get a 50, I'd be like, 50, or like I'd get a 70, I'd be like, 70, or like, my marks fluctuated because that's the type of person I am. I couldn't really nail it down.
Because out of all my siblings, like me, Justine, Tiffany, our younger sister, she is like studying all the time, but she's not like getting solid marks. Like I see her study, take notes, because I think like they're studying wrong or something. They're just literally like mindlessly taking notes, and they're just like not actively studying. Maybe that's why. Because I've always wondered, like, these people, they just take so much notes, they're studying so much, asking so many questions, but like it's not equating through. So I think it's just like studying tactic, and it's just like lack of self-aware or something. I don't know. There's not much.
It's 100% you need to be able to be aware of how to study.
Yeah.
And go about it smarter. Oh. Because otherwise you can just spend all your time just copying the slides from a lecture and just copying the notes without real understanding as to what's going on. Yeah. Because if you're just copying down notes, I'd say the retention value there is not as much as if you were like actually applying it. Yeah. Or like trying to figure out how it works and then, writing a summarizing paragraph as to how it works as opposed to just copying down the lecture notes. There's two different trains of thoughts, two different ways of doing it. Some people can learn from that, some people can't, but like, I could never do that. I was more of an application sort of person where like I have to apply what I'm learning, otherwise it's just like gonna go over my head. Yeah. But how would you do it? Like, coming from studying.com master himself, how would you do it? Like, how would you go about giving advice to people that are like unsure as to how to study?
I think, you know how you have the lecture and then you have the tutorial homework that matches with the lecture? Watch it. Actually, probably if I were to go back to uni, I'll just go straight to the tutorial. I probably wouldn't understand the first question. Go through the lecture, get to the part where the teacher, go ahead and do the tutorial, and just work it that way.
100%. You know what that reminds me of? You know those English exams that you used to sit, how they comprehension, and they give you the text and they give you the questions? I'd read the question first and I'd go to the text.
Exactly.
That's exactly how I feel like it's a good way to go about it, because that way you're filtering out in your brain the useless information that you don't need, applying what you should be learning, and then you learn directly that way as well.
Take zero notes, yeah. How do you study, Christian?
I do a bit of both. I was taking a lot more notes in the first couple of years, but with the transition of uni going online, I changed my approach. But at the same time, I do the same. I just focus on my tutorial work. So I answer the questions and everything. So those of you who are listening, really unsure about how to be studying if you are studying, you got to find the right technique that works for you, because there's no right way. One way doesn't work for everyone. It's different for everyone. So yeah, I experimented a lot, and then I found, just doing the questions and then going back and reading it if I need some further information. But I was one that learned from the textbook. I'd go straight from the source material. I wouldn't really like go to the lectures, because like it's like filtered down information, and it's like I couldn't be able to do that. I need to be able to understand everything. As opposed, I don't know, I just couldn't do it.
Dude, as we're eating this chicken, I'm just thinking back to that story about your employee said that it didn't look like the manager was wearing anything because he was wearing a back singlet.
So we're in a meeting at work, and we have a new person that started with us, and the meetings are all on Microsoft Teams, so it's a video meeting. And we go around the room, and then everyone just says one thing about themselves and their favorite food. Or like everyone has to try and guess their favorite food. And it gets to my friend Isaac, who's from Ghana. Ghana is a country in Africa. And everyone had to try and guess his food. Everyone's saying, pasta, lasagna, whatever, just random stuff. There's one, the lizard, if you're listening and you were listening a couple of days ago, we call them the lizard. Well, I call them the lizard because I don't want to say the gender. They said fried chicken. Fried chicken. You say that on in front of the whole team, in front of 20 people with the senior managers there. His face dropped. Everyone's face dropped. No one knew what to say. Like, this is especially after what happened the first time, when you know how I don't know, man. The people are just so stupid. I just have a lot.
So the same thing happened. Just went awkward silence.
Awkward silence, and he made another comment saying.
What's her reaction? Did she know that like it was awkward?
The person was just kind of just like laughing it off, as if people would laugh with them.
Yeah.
Not very self-aware at all. Low self-awareness. When you go into a public sort of area, or like a workforce, or even just like say school or university, you need to be very socially aware of what's around you. Especially nowadays, you got to be very careful as to what you say and who you say to. And there's obviously some very wrong things you can say.
I think if I was in that situation, I'll be saying the complete opposite thing out of fear. So if it'll be like, what do you eat? I'll be like, do you like meat pies, salad, apples?
Yeah, just any oranges, apple juice, just anything like that's can be strayed away from it. An inherent meaning. You know what I mean? Like, just something so simple as that. But like, have you seen on Instagram lately? There's been another barrage of people posting stuff.
What happened?
So in England, this lady, her body remains were found dead in England somewhere. And then,
thank you.
And it started like a huge thing about violence against women and labeling it incorrectly, how it should be labeled as, men's violence against women instead of violence against. It's like, it's hot, and we're not going to get into this because it's way too deep for this podcast, and I'm not going to bother wasting my breath on it. But like, that's been happening. But another thing that's been happening, have you heard of NFTs?
Yes. Non-Fungible Tokens.
Non-Fungible Tokens.
Yeah. Dude, my interns were talking about it.
Dude, do you have much of an idea what it is? All I know is that okay, I'll give a brief understanding and Andy will give his brief understanding and we'll go from there. So my brief understanding of non-fungible tokens, it's essentially a digital asset that you can hold and it's essentially yours. That's my brief understanding. I haven't read too much into it, but I heard that Logan Paul has made around 3 million. Yeah, I heard 3 million. $3 million from non-fungible tokens. Excuse me, and I'm here sitting thinking, what is he selling? Like, what is he, what? Like, I don't know much about into that at all, but.
And you see the token is just like a cartoon Logan Paul holding up a card. And you're like, what? Each one of those cards is $1,000. One Ethereum. $2,000 now, since Ethereum is $2,000.
Shit. So it can be anything, exactly. NFTs, right? It can be anything.
So, right now, the best example is like, so we'll start with the easiest example. So eventually we're going to go into a VR world. And within VR worlds, you're going to be showing off your house, showing off what you own, walking around with different things. So that's when NFTs will come into play. You'll be flexing it within the virtual world. You might have like Logan Paul's NFT on your wall. So that's one, and it's limited edition. Two, people might say like, can't you just screenshot the photo? Like, why is that piece of art worth like so much money? Can't you just screenshot and you own it? Yeah. It's like having a blue check on Instagram. Right. Like, you guess you can screenshot your profile and edit in the blue check, but like, not really. Because like when people are on Instagram, they don't see it. So when people are in this VR world, they won't be able to see your actual art. And then three, it's like for example, like a Supreme hoodie. Everyone can fake a Supreme hoodie, but like Supreme is still worth so much. We're like, why is the Supreme hoodie worth $1,000 if you could just buy it fake for like $50? But people still buy it for real. So those are three theories why like I think NFTs are going to blow up, and like how artists are going to get into it. I think they're going to release limited edition songs. Like Drake will release a song, only 500 people can own this. And then yes, people can just record the audio and post it on YouTube. Maybe you can get copyright taken down maybe. But if you own it, people can go into your VR house and could be playing in your house and you could be like, damn, is this like Drake's limited edition song or something? So I think that's how it works. I'm like, I see how it can like, the best example that did you used to play Counter-Strike?
I've heard of it, yeah.
Or how about Team Fortress 2?
Yeah. I remember TF2 had like you could buy and sell items.
Exactly.
Yeah,
people would pay $300 for like some like skin. That's probably the best example of why NFTs might take off, because people buy $300 skins in Steam. But then there needs to be some crazy VR world that everyone uses, and then the NFTs have to be like somehow like linked up to that one main world. There can't be like 10 different games or 10 different worlds. Everyone has to use the same world to make it work. Yeah. So when you're talking about that, you think about all these different things. You think about licensing, you think about regulation, you think about registration. Because you're right, if you're going to be having these non-fungible tokens, it's essentially going to be, it's a form of construct in our online social media world, right? So because it's a form of construct in that sort of world, you're right, you need something to facilitate it. Yeah. So what I'm thinking of is like, create the next VR game.
Like, you know how, if Instagram implement VR, you know how you have stories and you can view the stories?
Yep.
What if you have like your Instagram house or like a house?
That's smart.
And then what happens is, you know, when you go on Instagram, you click on someone's story and you can go view their story. There's another option where you can see their virtual house or their Instagram house, and inside the house they got like accolades of like NFTs or something.
That's smart.
You know what I mean? Like that's a way of like.
So you know how you go to your home feed? There's like the home feed, the tagged photos, your shop. Imagine there was a tab for like owned NFTs.
Yeah, owned NFTs.
That's smart.
And you can display an accolade, etc.
Holy shit.
And you know what you're saying about the Drake one, where like you could essentially be one of 500 people to buy the Drake song, and at the end of the day you can just, you know, illegally provide it to other people and pirate it, and everyone can pirate, etc. But you're still one of the only 500 people that have the physical rights to the song. Unlimited. At the end of the day, that's still so valuable because you have all the rights to the song.
Can you imagine if Instagram did a thing where only if you actually own the song, can you put that song on your Instagram story? Oh my God, that would actually work.
You know where that would hurt the most? TikTok. TikTok.
Dude, that's, yeah. Holy shit. Now I'm thinking, how do I implement NFTs into like starting.com?
Into starting.com.
Because
how would you do it though? What would you... Thinking about it is like your resources would essentially have to be NFTs, right? Like,
so right now, the closest thing I'm getting to is like I'm starting to do like follow and following features on starting.com where people can follow other students and see what those other students post or the tips they post. So now there's like a social equity type of thing where you have amount of followers, amount of following, where there's like a tier to it, like a sort of social dynamic to it.
Yeah.
So that's the first stage. But NFTs could be literally like, technically, those Team Fortress skins are technically NFTs because they're non-fungible tokens.
yeah.
So what if I created like these like limited edition like beta badges where like only students who like there's only 25 of the beta supporter badges, or they're $50 each. The first 50 students can pay them, and now they have that badge forever, for example. So that's how I'm thinking, but I haven't thought about too much. You got me thinking about it because you're right. If Instagram really took it on, game over.
You know what? I think it's only a matter of time before they do.
Yeah.
They'd be stupid not to. They would honestly be stupid not to.
Do you see how Instagram created Clubhouses?
No, I didn't.
Insane. So when you do a live, now you can add in like 4 people and have like a live chat. They're just like straight up savage.
They're smashed. They do this all the time.
Yeah.
They do this all the time. TikTok Reels. They have a reply and they're smart because they know Instagram won't die. It's not going to die. There's no way.
Literally 2 weeks before, Mark Zuckerberg was on the Clubhouse app doing like a talk. So basically it's like sussed out his competitor.
Yeah.
Figured it out, tried it out, and just took over, did the same thing.
So smart.
Yeah.
Because with stereo coming in as well,
Yeah.
it's so much easier for people just to have one app and consult and do all these things on one app as opposed to having so many different apps and doing it. Fuck, so smart. What was ahead of the game?
It's crazy how Instagram is like the new Facebook, literally. Facebook literally have everything. You would play Facebook games, favorite chat, groups, posts, create a page, sell things. But now everything's on Instagram.
On
Wow.
Instagram. It's only a matter of time before they keep diversifying. It's like Facebook are smart. They're just going to pump all the resources and everything into Instagram.
No.
And it'll just be like Facebook, but we won't have that association with it because Facebook, you can associate with like older times now and older things. But like if Instagram really took on NFTs, yeah, you're like showing off your NFTs to everyone. I saw people paying like ridiculous prices for some random people's tweets or whatever. It's like, you have the right to their tweet. And it's like, what? Like, you could sell something of yours as an NFT.
That's crazy.
What would you sell as an NFT? I have no digital accolades that I can think of. Other than if I were to take a photo of you right now and be like, this is the first ever photo of Andy Myers in NFT.
A photo of me when I was a baby.
Yeah. That's an NFT done.
Yeah. 50 photos of Andy Meyer when he was a baby.
There's some weird ass people buying that stuff. Maybe you could get some weird people.
Damn.
Let us know what you guys think what like an NFT would be for you. Like,
You know what would be dope? Like if someone like Elon Musk, and this is something I might actually do. If he like released like a photo of him every year. Every year.
Just one photo?
Exactly. 2020 Elon Musk. 2021 Elon Musk.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty dope. Imagine someone has a wall full of it, like every single photo.
Or even like if he provides like a webinar or like a video message and like only 1 in 500 people can own that video message and like, and inside the video message he details like a lot of like what's assumed to be classified information in like in SpaceX, Tesla and everything, and only 1 in 5, like that would be insane. Like that works.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's interesting, right? Like,
yeah. Because with those things, the only thing I'm thinking is like, imagine he like has a secret for 500 people, but like someone can buy and just like screen record and just upload it.
see, that's where the licensing and regulation and everything needs to come into play because it's so primitive. It's like incredibly primitive right now. But like FaZe Banks was on there. Like he spent like 1 million or something on NFTs. And you got Logan Paul in on it. There's so many people like
Gary Vee is hard.
Low-key, I want to get on it. Like, but at the same time,
it's so bubble. It's like such a big bubble right now.
it's such a big bubble, and you know what happens as soon as a bubble bursts. Like it's like early age, I'd say cryptocurrency, where everyone's like, what the is going on? But this has a potential. The world is just shaping up to be a Ready Player One world, bro. I'm telling you. Everything that's happening is going to be a Ready Player One world.
Dude, the last year has been nuts. Like, everyone's getting into stock. GameStop, freaking going against, like, that's been going crazy. GameStop, all those like crazy, like, stocks that don't, like, everyone's just like going on it just for fun, for the memes. Then Dogecoin, Bitcoin, NFTs. There's so many uphill trends. Money's being made everywhere.
Money's being made everywhere. I think, if anything, what we've learned is like, it's just nothing's really set in concrete. Everything that you know is just challenge everything that you know to be set as reality and just get ready to. Imagine being a hedge fund manager of the two people that were shorting a ridiculous amount of GME shares, and then some Reddit boys just be like, hey, let's just fuck the market. And they just get in and they just fuck up the market. Like, it's crazy, man. Like, it's just ridiculous. But you're 100% right, like Dogecoin and everything. And then as soon as Elon Musk tweets about like Dogecoin, or he said, oh, the price of Bitcoin is too high, it just drops by like 2%.
Because like, I'm pretty sure like pre-08, everyone's making money on real estate. Being a real estate broker, packaging freaking real estate, like loans. The problem money being made everywhere, like being a flipper, being like wholesale buying, being the middleman. There's probably like a bunch of different trends on how to make money through real estate, and it just like popped.
It's gone. It's done. It's like, this is just not. It's not worth it anymore. Like the effort that you have in trying to flip stuff, and you know, trying to
Do up houses.
Yeah, build up houses. The effort, the time, the money, as opposed to some bloke buying a tweet of Elon Musk and just forever commemorating it.
Have you seen World.io? No. So there's this online game or like a online thing where World.io is basically a map of the world, and it's split up into boxes, cells. And each cell is like really tiny. So you could literally buy anything in the world. You could buy like a cell of like, go to like London and buy a piece of land there, go to North Korea, buy a piece of land there. But it's a game. You're literally buying like a cell within a game.
Yeah.
And it might start at 20, but the cell has appreciated from like 20, and people now paying $200 for like to own a piece of like North Korea.
On a game. Oh my God. All the blocks would be exhausted by now, right? Like, so now because it's all exhausted, the prices would just keep
resale market maybe, yeah. It's just pretty crazy.
How would you maintain that? Because it starts off as a big hype about, oh, I own a block in this game. But how does that game stay relevant
Exactly.
enough for it to keep having demand and keep having like supply? And
Exactly. So, we recently met this guy from China. He does Bitcoin mining. And we want to get into this thing called cloud mining, where usually when you buy a Bitcoin machine, it's like $10,000 for everything.
okay.
Who has $10,000 to buy a machine? But you might have $500 to buy a piece of a machine. So how cloud mining works is, say 10 people put in $1,000 each, and each of them own 1/10 of a machine. So use that $10,000 they give you, buy a machine. Now you split up the Bitcoin you mine 10 ways into 10 different people. So each person owns like an equity of the machine.
Of the machine, and therefore the Bitcoin that gets mined from it.
Exactly. So if you really wanted to gamify it, create like an app where people can buy like pieces of a machine and like blocks or parts. Like you own 1/10 and there's like a 1/10 and the rest is grayed out or something. But then that 1/10 is generating like money every day. Oh.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
So that's something people actually already do.
Yeah. They haven't gamified it yet. It's like a bit ugly. It's like on an ugly website where you buy like, you put in $100 and, but if you can game it into an app, I think it could be pretty big.
100%. Everything is like about usability nowadays. If you can make something gamified, usable, easy to use, it'll jump.
Exactly.
It will jump. That's what NFTs need to do, bro. Imagine, because you know, I was talking about GTA last week. They implement NFTs in that.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, man.
Dude, I'm hooked on GTA. I don't know what it is. I don't play it, but I'm watching Rice Gun play it. And somehow it's so entertaining to watch. I have no idea why it is. was just entertaining to watch. That's going to be the future. You're either going to be playing the game or watching someone else play it.
What does he do? He just walks around and does random shit.
He just runs around. His phone is constantly ringing by a bunch of different people. He's talking to every single girl he sees. He's taking girls on dates. And he's like, he knows everyone in the city, so whatever he needs, he just rings his phone. And he's just like, dude, these Twitch streamers, insane ADHD. They're just like all over the place. They're looking at their stream comments, they're reading out their subscriber comments, they're reading out their donations, they're playing the game, they're checking some DM that a girl has sent them. He's doing 5 things at once. I was watching this YouTube video of Joe Rogan going hunting, and like he's just sitting there waiting. A baby deer goes by, and they're not supposed to kill fawns or does. I don't know what you call it, baby deers.
I think it's fawn.
But he's just like on edge. He's like, damn, I want to like. It's just right there, and he's trying to let it go, but the deer's dumb. It's just like hanging around. And he's like, it's right there. I just want to shoot it. And then my mom watching was like, that's like so weird, like that eager to like kill an animal. And then there's another person, Brian Cannon, sees a deer, shoots it, walks up, finds a deer. And it's like, there's never a better feeling than like taking a deer down. I'm like, whoa. So I think something about like, and they're like, hunting is not about like the shot, like that's pretty fun, but it's just like sitting there and just like patient, just looking for the prey. And I guess like the best metaphor I can think, I guess the best metaphor I can think of is maybe like fishing.
I was literally about to say, I'm like, okay, if you were going to rebut me, I was going to be like, okay, so then why do people actively engage in fishing?
Exactly.
The reason why is I'd say it's not seen as in a less, it's seen in a less barbaric tone as to what you were describing then about deers, is because like you don't see yourself as hunting for it, but you are hunting for it, like you're hunting for fish. But it's all on the ground, it's all...
So like when we catch a fish, we get excited. And when I saw Joe Rogan get hella excited about like killing an animal, I was like, well, that's a bit scary, but I do the exact same thing when I catch a fish, which is pretty crazy.
Like when we were fishing the other day, like we got so excited when we saw like that squid.
Yeah. And the squid was probably struggling and like getting choked in, but we were like all pumped up.
Yeah, we were so pumped. We're like, fucking get the fucking squid, you know what I mean? Like get the squid. We're like, you don't think about it in that sort of tone because it's just like, it's just fishing. It's not seen as that, which is interesting. Then it begs the question to think, what about cannibalism?
Yeah. Oh, man.
I feel like that's a whole different wavelength, you know what I mean? Because there's veganism, you know, that's coming into light now. There's people that enjoy eating meat. And so like you hunt for your meat and, you know, you eat it. But in ancient practices, cannibalism was like, it was done, you know, like it was...
That's crazy.
You could never see yourself doing it, but it's
imagine
like...
the thrill of that is like crazy, maybe. I don't know.
But it's interesting because like you wouldn't see, in the wild as well, like I don't think many like, I don't know, like I'm talking as if I have any knowledge on it, but like you wouldn't see a lion eat another lion. They'd fight and stuff, but I don't know if they'd eat another one. Like probably hyenas are the crazy ones that would eat it, but like I don't know, humans I just feel like...
You know what's weird? Fishes. They eat other fishes. They even probably eat their own fish eggs.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's like pretty weird. But then again, we eat like chicken eggs. Not the same, but like,
I get what you're trying to say in the sense that like...
You know what's crazy? Those chicken eggs that are half like babies.
Oh, what do they call it? The Filipino... I forget. I'll search it up real quick. I think it's like Balut or something like
that. You got it. Something like that, yeah.
Because one of my friends is Filipino. Is it Filipino or Philippines?
You know what's crazy in America? There's like a huge philo culture. It's weird how Australia's closer to Philippines, but that's not a thing.
Yeah.
Like there's like a lot of Filipino...
Balut.
I mean, America's pretty crazy how there's like African Americans, like the Cholos, which are like the Mexicans. They have all these different unique cultures. Australia, I think, what I've noticed, like we have like a lot of Arabic people, Lebanese people, but that's only in West Sydney. You know, the moment you go North Sydney, they don't even know what a Lebanese person. If you go Mount Druitt, Blacktown, they don't know what, like, actually maybe Blacktown, but if you go like down to Victoria, they're like, yeah, we don't see many Lebanese.
It's interesting, as to how the migration would have happened in the, God knows when, early 1900s or like 1980s, maybe 1970s, because they all migrated after, like, I think there was definitely a war in Lebanon or like the Middle East or something. Like that's when, like, the early 2000s. But yeah, 100%. Because like in America, those, like the Mexicans, they've been there for a long time, you know what I mean? Yeah. And then you got, like, there's a lot of, I mean, here the Chinese population started because of the gold rush that was here. So like that's when they all came. But like in America, it's been long standard, like it's been established. Whereas here, it's like just a vast array of different people. Like it's just a cluster.
Australia's so young. It's like 250 years old.
No
like
history.
the crazy how like ethnic people that are our age, they're like 5 generations deep in America.
Yeah. And they've been there for ages, you know what I mean? Whereas opposed to here, everyone is really, really like new.
Yeah.
Everyone's either first gen or second gen. They're not.
Yeah.
It's crazy to think, like, so new, so young. And like, that's when you go to Europe and then you see all like the buildings in Europe and you're like, Australia has nothing. We have nothing like that. And like Europe is insanely much more steeped in its rich history as opposed to us. We got nothing.
It's crazy like going to like America and talking to like other Vietnamese people that are my age. And their mum, fluent like English, and they're like talking slang, they're like on TikTok and stuff, because they're like, the daughter's probably like 5 generations in and the mum's already 4 generations in. We're only like 2 generations in.
Yeah.
Our first generation, are we first or second?
You'd be second because your mum would be first.
Got it.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure I'm second as well.
Got it.
Yeah. But I think it's also because of the fact that after the Vietnam War, there was like a lot more Americans facilitated a lot more Vietnamese people as well into their country.
No.
I have no idea. I honestly have no idea. It just makes sense in my head thinking about it in that sense, which does kind of make sense. But yeah, I feel like, I don't know, I feel like America just seems like a third world country at the moment with everything going on. It honestly just seems like a third world country. Like, the migration demands will fucking drop, I reckon.
The sort of the dream, that unique, the American, like, the craving for it.
Yeah.
Starts to dipper as like America gets like out of hand at the moment.
100%.
I still think it's sort of still the place to be, but I start getting that feeling when people within the country are trying to move out. Like a lot of people, they're still staying in America, but everyone's moving out of LA and New York. They're going to like Texas.
Yeah.
Miami, Puerto Rico. So everyone's starting to like
move
around,
try and find different things. But I feel like the reason, like you view America in a different light as to what I would, in the sense that for reasons of, for me, it's purely just living purposes and just, you know, work opportunity. Well, obviously work opportunity, but like work opportunity there is obviously insanely much, in a much bigger proportion as it is to here. The market is, like the market in America for jobs literally ranges from A to Z. Whereas here it's quite limited as to what can be offered, because like the finance industry in America is literally what's been tracked across the world the most, you know what I mean? And then like obviously for yourself, the entrepreneurs in America, they're thriving in America. And that's the whole point. If you want to be an entrepreneur, you be in America, you know what I mean? Because that's where the opportunity is. Whereas here it's not as abundant.
Like Australia's made for like 9 to 5 sort of.
Yeah, like it. But in saying that, there's also opportunity to be an entrepreneur here, because if you can establish it, because we're still such a young country, like there's still a lot of opportunity to be able to like just crush it here because of the less competition. Whereas America, I feel like more competition, but also at the same time, more opportunity and more like willingness, more people willing to like do that random stuff.
I recently met this guy, he was like a friend of a friend. He was like in finance, 15 years. And finance people, they have this thing.
And he hates finance people.
So I was just like casually asking him questions, and he got like really defensive. Like finance people can't answer your questions. Like for example, and they answer questions with questions. That's it. Finance people answer questions with questions. So you might ask them, be like, hey, so how do you get clients for your equity business? how do you get clients for your education business? And we're like, whoa.
Yeah.
Well, how I get it is we run ads, we do organic, and I'll do a whole breakdown. What about you guys? No reply.
You know why? Because I feel like that, like, I don't know if it's an American personality trait or if it is someone that's in the finance industry, the business industry, where they feel like they're getting defensive because the techniques and stuff they have, they don't want it to be like exposed in that sense, and they want to keep the cards close to their chest, which is so. I was gonna say it's stupid, but at the same time, it's not that stupid because like we're not in a world where sharing resources is like.
All right, we're done.
Sorry,
we're done.
we should have got more.
No, it's okay.
Because at the end of the day, it's a competitive advantage because it's a business. You know what I mean? Like, are you good? What's wrong?
I mean, all the crumbs. I'm just remembering because like I've done this before, and then I was advised not to. It was like it looks bad when you're like. But I really like eating the.
Depends who you're with.
I really like eating the crumbs. Kind of like.
This way, you wouldn't do this in like a 5-star restaurant.
That's true.
But at the same time, we're not at a 5-star. That's the whole point. Yeah. You can do that. Eat your crumbs. Eat your food. Don't waste your food.
But then again, those like mini 5-star restaurant meals that you pay so much for into this little thing.
Yeah.
I feel like I would like finish everything, even if there was like a freaking flour, I'll eat that freaking flour. If there was sauce, I would like freaking lick that sauce because it's like so tiny. You're paying like $300 for this small thing.
100%. Any leaves on my plate, I'll eat those
Exactly.
leaves. I'll eat the coriander. I'll eat
yeah.
everything. Like it's you pay $300 fucking for it. 100%.
Dude, that's the new thing, by the way. Flexing food. That's all I see on my Instagram nowadays. Just food, flexing food. But it's such a weird flex because like it's like subjective. You can't even tell if it's expensive or not, and like you eat it.
So expensive. Like imagine eating out every single. Because some people do that. They eat out every. No. I'm talking every meal they eat out. Every meal, 7 days a week. They do that.
That's crazy. I can't do that.
I'll never be able to do that. Never. I could never. You gonna wrap it up there?
Yeah.
Let's wrap
Let's wrap it up. Thank you guys for sitting through our dinner chat. Thank you so much.
I'm curious to see what you guys like. Give us your thoughts on if you guys liked this. If you guys did, please let us know. I did it again. No, like I did this. No, dude, I'm so self-conscious. Like
We'll try to do more of these, and I think it's better if we do more as well because we can't just keep doing it on video as well.
Yeah.
It makes more sense to do it like this as well.
this is fun. This is like not too casual. I know like obviously it's like a bit awkward in the beginning. We just need click record on everything and then we could get into it. But I like this because we were able to eat, we were able to catch up. But yeah.
Anyway, guys, thank you so much.
Oh, it turned off.
Turned off.
Oh, perfect. So since we have still the microphone on, thank you guys so much for listening. Thank you so much. Hope you guys enjoyed us. Please give us feedback on how you thought it was. Pretty solid episode, and we'll let you go. Peace.
Thank you. Bye.